Hey, it's the right weekend, and it's been a couple of days since I've recorded a video, but um I released the video, recorded it ahead of time. It's been a emotional roller coaster of a week for me, but I'm back, and um we'll talk about COVID today. And before I get into any details, this I'm not making any recommendations. I'm not, you know, speak to your doctor and all that stuff. You have to do what's right for you, and don't make your vaccine decision based on political pressure. Do it for medical reasons. um, Full disclosure, I got the J&J just because they want a couple of shots. I just wanted one. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's get this video started. um, I was reading an article this morning about what's going on with New York, and the mayor is about to mandate either the vaccine or once a week test for um, unvaccinated city employees. So before I get into any details about the articles I'm going to talk about, I wanted to come here to Wikipedia. So like that, people could see that using a left-leaning source, like I always say, just so like that they can say that using a bias right-wing source. But here it goes. Herd immunity is a form of indirect protection from infectious disease that can occur with some diseases when a sufficient percentage of a population has become immune to infection, whether through vaccination or previous infections, thereby reducing the likelihood of infection for individuals who lack immunity. So, what does it say here? What's the key thing I want you to see here? Um, when a significant percentage of a population has been immune to an infection, whether through vaccination or previous infections. And this is what kills me about what's going on with COVID. If you've had COVID and you've recovered, you will always have some form of immunity toward that strain. Now, granted, there's the variants, but your body will still be able to fight off an infection of the variants. Not saying that you won't get sick, not saying that there's some people who might actually die from it, but there's people who get the vaccine who still get sick and who still die. It's just the likelihood is decreased. Same thing if you've had the infection, if you've had COVID before, it's still you could still get it. You could still maybe die from it. But the fact that you've had an infection means your body's already had an immune response. That's the same thing with vaccines for is to get an immune response. So, like that, if you do um, get exposed, you could fight off the infection. That's the point of uh, the vaccine. But what's going on is, you know, you see what's going on now in New York with the mayor, the idiot mayor. But you see what's going around the world. Here goes from Bloomberg Business. Passport for pubs, mandatory shots. Europe ramps up COVID fight. Um, and it goes here: unvaccinated Europeans increasingly in politicians' crosshairs, and you know they could get away with this in Europe because they don't have the same freedoms as we do instilled in our constitution. Not saying that they don't have their freedoms, they just don't have it similar to us. I mean, like we have a Second Amendment, they don't. They have hate speech laws in Europe where they're trying to bring that here, but hate speech laws are a violation of our First Amendment. we're allowed to say stupid things, and that's. But you see here what's going on. They're scaring us, and here is another article from the this is the New York Daily News. COVID-19 health passports now required to visit Eiffel Tower, French museums, and movie theaters. Visitors to France will have to do all it goes here. You need to show proof of vaccination, have a recent negative test, or prove that they have recently recovered from an infection. Which that's but this is the part they don't really normally tell you is the recovered from an infection. The measure, so this is what's going on around the world, and they're trying to bring it here. That's why you had like DeSantis in Florida try to, well, he's basically passed laws so like that the cruise industry cannot require Floridians to have a vaccine passport, because at the end of the day, that's the whole thing. It's there's going to be viruses and all that stuff. We may not always have a vaccination to it, but still have to live our lives. But this is what's going on with um, how do I explain? There was a meme. No, there was the coach. There was a coach in Minnesota that he basically quit because they basically were telling him you have to get the vaccine. So instead of getting the vaccine, he quit. But this is what's going on, and I've made a video about this in the past where I'll link it in the description, where I talk about how the end around to vaccine mandates here in the US is going to be private companies saying you either get the vaccine or you don't have a job. And that's how about they're going to go about violating our rights, because it's not only the government's supposed to be there to protect your rights. These companies are violating our rights by doing that. You can't mandate people, to get a, let's say, you can't mandate someone, oh, you got to take um, Tylenol every day before you come to work, or you can't work for us. You can't mandate people to take a medication in order to go work for them. But that's what's going on with the vaccine. And that's, like I said months ago, that's going to be the end around for mandates, because at the end of the day, the government of the US knows that majority of the people are not going to be okay with vaccine mandates. And the Democrats, I think, know that it'll be a losing issue if they try to push it. Of course, you're going to have the loud fanatics on the left that are going to be okay with it, but you're going to have more people than not that are going to be against it. And here's another article. We need COVID-19 mandates to reach herd immunity. Start by requiring vaccine proof to fly. And there's the whole thing. I mean, notice the difference between what I put in this article here from France, where they talk about, or prove that you have recently recovered from an infection. It doesn't say that here. Let's just go to the article and double check. Um, but no, I don't see anything here. To get to herd immunity within a reasonable time frame, the Biden administration is going to need to add to its arsenal some targeted vaccine mandates. The obvious first step is to require proof of vaccination when embarking on an airplane. According to a number of legal experts, the president has authority from laws establishing the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and the Federal Aviation Administration, as well as the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, to require or airlines to ask ticket holders to provide proof of full vaccination. And there it goes. There's no saying about recent um, recently infected, or let's say, for example, people who cannot take vaccines because, let's say, there's medical reasons, there's religious reasons, um, that there's no exemptions to that. And that's why they can't. They say he has the. This is what I talk about with the gaslighting. They say he has the president has the authority. No, he doesn't. Okay. Like I said, if he does it, he's toast. If he tries to do that, the the Democrats are toast in 2022 and 2024 because nobody's going to be okay with it. But that's what that's what these, news article is. Like I said, I mean, remember the other Yahoo News story I pulled up. You could read, you read through this it's it's reporting on some stuff, but it's an opinion piece saying, according to a number of legal experts, the president has the authority. Yeah, no, the president doesn't have the authority to violate your rights and without any consequences to it. So yeah, he could do it, but they're gonna lose. It goes here. Nowhere in the Constitution's Bill of Rights will conservatives find the right to infect others with a deadly disease. In addition to the wait. No doubt, even a targeted mandate for airline passengers will stoke the outrage machine at Fox News and other right wing propaganda outlets. Republicans eager for Trump's favor and anti vaxxers can be expected to decry. Okay, once you get to this part here, you could tell this is an opinion piece. This is not just, it's an opinion piece passing as news once again. Here where it's like, nowhere in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, will conservatives find a right to infect others with a deadly disease. Nowhere in the Constitution does it also say that people have to give up their rights in the name of a deadly disease. It goes, in addition to defending our civil liberties, government's responsible for promoting the general welfare and protecting citizens from harm. No rational person considers requiring a license to drive a car or fly a plane a form of tyranny. Oh, wait a minute. These are the people who go, um, requiring a license or some sort of ID to vote is wrong, but requiring, a person to fly is okay. It's promoting the general welfare and protecting citizens from harm. But this is the same government that is allowing unvaccinated, infected COVID illegals to come into the country with no problem. See the cognitive dissonance these people have, and see the straight up opinion, because this is what it is. It's, once you see this, that they're actually attacking Republicans and attacking Fox News. This goes to show you where the bias is, because there was no need for this. This is not news. Once they left it, once they reported this part here, once they reported these things with the numbers and all that, um, that would have been it for the article. Then I might have not said, oh, this is opinion piece. But right here, once you get to this portion here of the article, it's an opinion piece. That's what they do. This is why I say you have to critically read through these stories, and look for the propaganda, or look for the bias in their sourcing. And there you go, right there. So once again, Yahoo News, great work. Great work. You guys write great opinion pieces disguised as news. Um, Here goes the article that I saw this morning, whereas de Blasio to expand COVID vaccine or test mandates to all city workers. which to me is just, uh, you know, this. I mean, the tyranny they're trying to push on us now. That's what's going on. It's a push to see how far they could take us, how far they could control us. What where will we bend and where will we break when it comes to um, the control that we give the government over us? Then that's what's going on. They want to see is how far can they take it? Will they be able to get the vaccine? Because if they get these vaccine passports or these mandating these vaccines, because they'll tell you, oh well, you need to get be vaccinated to go to school. Oh no, there's end arounds. There's religious exemptions. There's medical exemptions. It There's ways around it. You don't have to have those vaccines to go into schools, but that's what they'll tell you. That's how they'll gaslight you. They'll never tell you that there's ways around that stuff because that's the way they go about uh, coercing you into doing stuff that they want you to do. But this is how the media works. This is how you have to sift through the news and see, go through it, see where it's an opinion piece versus a fact based news article. When they're just reporting stuff, when they're showing statistics and all that stuff, you can see, even though statistics can be manipulated, but at the end of the day, with the statistics there, they'll show, and it'll be more fair than when you see this piece here where they're talking about, oh well, the Republicans are going to be against this, and anti-vaxxers are going to be against this. I mean, the way they change around definitions, because now if you're against mandated vaccines, which I'm someone who took the vaccine, I'm just against mandated vaccines. I'm an anti-vaxxer. I'm also a parent of a child who was harmed by a vaccine, but I'm an anti-vaxxer. So, I'm someone who I actually have a child that was injured by a vaccine, but hey, what do I know? I just don't want to force people. Want to do it, go right ahead. So, but that's where my difference. I'm not trying to force what I believe onto others. But that's what goes on. That's what's going on now. They want to force those things onto us. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. The right Rican. I'm just getting back into this again. After, like I said, after a long week. Uh, so you can follow me on YouTube and Rumble. That's where I post my videos. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, and um, Telegram. All right. That being said, have a good one, everyone.